everybody to the Black Gentlemen's Club, where we can have candid conversations about challenges that Black men face and how we can overcome them. This club is a place for us as Black men to congregate and share our thoughts, emotions, failures, and success. So what you do right now, real quick for me, is go ahead and hit that follow button, subscribe. Also hit that button too as well. Share this podcast on all platforms with your friends, sons, brothers, dad, whoever. Please get this message out here. Just share this. It's free. Free 99. You don't have to do nothing besides share. Now, first of all, we're going to introduce everybody on today's episode. You have Loki. You have Matt. And then you have myself. You have myself. All right. So look, for us to become the men we are striving to be, we must acknowledge and address obstacles that are preventing us from achieving our desired state. But today's episode, to help us get to that point, we're going to talk about power. Is there such thing as too much? But before we get to that, let's do a quick recap of last episode. The last episode we talked about the power of vision. So now the question I have is from that last episode, did any of y'all do anything as far as like writing your purpose and vision out? And like what did that reveal to you?
Well, no, you was there. You was there, so I want you to go first.
All right, so I did actually. I actually even wrote down some identifying goals to help me get to that purpose and vision. But writing it out actually allowed me to understand my path, understand what I'm seeing, putting it together, and like literally being able to read into it and break it down, allowed me to see clearer, have a mirror view of what I really am supposed to be doing. And it kind of coincided with a purpose.
Okay.
So it definitely helped. It definitely brought some enlightenment.
So what was your purpose? Just to ask that.
Well, I told y'all before, though, my purpose never changed, but my purpose was really to connect all my brothers and sisters and get us on the same wavelength. Like get us on a place where we can actually excel to get to a better place, because I just see us being held down so much that my purpose is to be some type of light to help us get there. I might not be the end all be all to anything. I'm just trying to be here and be a part of it. And this is my part. So, yeah. I hope that helped a little bit. It helped me.
How about you, Loki?
Solid. For me, I think the most important thing was writing it down made it step one start happening. So it's like an action statement for me. When I started writing it, I'm like, oh, this is about to actually happen. So I got a big old whiteboard that I got sticky notes on. The reason I did sticky notes on the whiteboard instead of just writing on it is because your vision and your plans sometimes change. So I want to be able to rip it up and move it around based off of where I feel like my direction is going. So it's still in the works. I don't know my full purpose yet. I don't know my end goal, but I know what I want to do next, like the next 4 or 5 months. And that's focus on financial freedom.
All right,
I don't know my end goal is either.
Nah, I mean, I don't think none of us really kind of. We kind of like, we know what we want out of everything, out of it all, but the exact end goal, probably don't know that.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, I wrote mine out too as well. Yeah, I wrote mine out as well. I write mine in different places, sometimes in my notebook, but I also have a vision board that I put up as well. I do need to try the sticky note. I'm going to try that one, the sticky note one. I think that's a good idea to actually be able to move it around, and because things does change. And instead of just putting up stuff that you want to get done, also have step 1 through whatever how you want to get it done. Your phase plan, so to make sure that you can knock it out. So how did writing your 5-year plan though? Did y'all do your 5-year plan, the professional, personal type plan, or did you just do just your own, just a business plan?
5-year plan, yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm still drafting it, but I'm definitely working it.
Yeah, I didn't do it 5 in particular. I touched all those topics, personal, financial, family, but I didn't have a time frame. Most of my stuff is like, if I die tomorrow, I want to make sure I at least be working on it now. So I guess my time is now. It ain't even really 5 years.
He said my time is now. Now I feel you. Sometimes you got to project it out, but it's cool. So let's kind of like go ahead and go into the actual episode. So we're gonna talk about power. So for you all, what is power? Like when you hear that word power, like what comes to your mind? How do you feel about that? Like what comes to your mind? Go ahead.
Your camera went out.
I got it, Matt. Nah,
it's still there.
Pop back.
Oh, it's all. Maybe it's me then. I can't see him. But go ahead. I give you.
I think power is just like air. Like it's something that we don't always see, but it's present. I think people walk into a room, you feel it, a presence of it. I feel like you feel a lack of presence. I feel like it's learned, but it's also inherited. Like some people just have like that birthright where it's just kind of like they have this thing about them, and they have to be taught from a young age to not abuse it. And so I think power is something that's like one of those elements almost where it's like it's there, but it's not always written, it's not always said, but it's always felt. That's what I feel like power is to me.
I'm gonna be honest. That's deep. But I really got one word to sum it up as, and I personally think that power is influence. And I feel like that can go good, bad, but I really feel like his powers is just another way to control people or to help people. It can go either way, but power is definitely influence, because without power, I don't know. I guess you still could move people, but I don't know. I think it's influence, man. I think it's really the ability to either help or control a facet of someone else's life.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, I mean, I don't disagree with nothing that y'all saying at all. Like, I agree with everything. Like, it came to the point to where I had to actually look up the definition of power. Because I feel the same way you feel about influence. To me, power is influence, right? Or, the either can be influence or the lack of influence, too. So, it just depends. But for me, when I looked it up, so the word power, it means the ability to act or do something, strength, vigor, or might, efficacy, control, or mastery, lordship, or dominion, ability or right to command or control. So it's like if you look at it, the whole thing is about action. When I read the whole definition is about action, right? And when you look at power, like, where do you think power comes from? Because, for example, like, we hear people talk about black power, white power, all different types of power and shit. But once again, where does it come from? So, like, we know about physical power. Like, if I punched you in your mouth, you're going to feel it. So, but where does power come from? What do you think?
I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
All right. Honestly, I think power comes from... I mean, I gotta say this first before I say that, because I'm sorry. You do you think go do it? The control, the definition highlighted a thought I had right before you read it to me, and the control factor is like the major piece. I think that is because power is within control. Is all about having the control. So I think control comes from the ability to like. The morale, the belief of a person. If you can tap into something that they believe in, that they agree with, or whatever, you have the ability to gain control or help, however you want to look at that. But I think that it comes from the belief or knowing how to connect. I don't know. It's a little bit of all. I ain't figured it all out yet. But like I feel like it's somewhere in the middle of that.
Okay.
What you got? I don't know.
I mean, so now I'll give you a simple answer. For me, if I'm going religious, I think power is God-given. And then the only reason I think we have power is because men got egos, but we know stuff like the world will wipe us out in a second. If the water rises too high, if the sun gets too hot, that's true power.
It's always a balance, though.
We got no control over it. So I think power has really been ordained to us, but it's always existed before us. It's always been here. So power, it has to be like some sort of external force before humans. It's always been here. We just how to package it up so we can control it a little bit better for our selfish reasons.
Give us some sense of control.
I think, like you said, power does come from God, but the other piece of it is that people relinquish their power to others.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes it comes from others. It comes from, like you said, about people believing, or you pulling on their values, their morals, for you now to say, you know what, I'm gonna give you this. Other words, like sacrifice. It's like a sacrifice. For example, like it's things that you know that you don't like that your wife may do, and it's things that she know that you know that she don't like that you do, but y'all sacrifice pieces of each other or your ego or whatever it may be in order to give that person that leeway, which is technically you relinquish some of your power, but you also still remain, you having that self-control, which is still power. So does it really come from a certain place? Possibly not. But however, like you said, I do think it comes from God. Like everything comes from God. I mean, it's here because, but like, that piece, when I looked at the sources of the power, right? So it's different sources of power, and you have so you have civic power, and when you're dealing with civic power, one of the first sources is physical force, and physical force is it's at its primal. So in other words, it's me on. It's like, other words, combats. Like we can be in combatant. It's my force against your force. That's physical power. Like if I dropped a ton of bricks on you, you're gonna feel that force. You're gonna feel the power of that force behind those bricks. So a lot of people, when they first hear power, you think about that is that primal nature of, okay, this is heavy, this is power, like this is strong, this can hurt me, this can create a certain amount of force that can either break me. Then you have wealth. Wealth is the wealth type of power is more of the ability to buy results. So in other words, we see this all the time. People can buy their way into certain places.
True.
That we might not be able to get into, but that money talks. So when that money talks, they can change certain things, right? They can change certain things when that money talks. So we dealing with that. That's another source of power. And then you have state action, right? So state action is kind of like is where they use like the use of laws and bureaucracy. You know what I'm saying? Like in order to get certain things done. In other words, the laws kind of like control, like you said, control exactly your actions or your behaviors, right? And then you have social norms. In other words, what your peers think, what everybody else think, like social media. Well, everybody else is feeling like this. It's it's Me Too movement, or it's it's whatever it could be. I'm being very sensitive, or anything. So those type of things are social norms. Then you have ideas, and those type of, and you also have idea power, which also helps create change in thinking as far as within action. Because a certain idea can spark your interest to make you change the way you view a certain thing, right? And then you have numbers, and with the numbers piece, that's like strength in numbers. If a lot of us are saying, if everybody jump off a bridge, remember that old saying, if your friend jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off a bridge. Right. It's that same saying,
Most
so
of
like
most of the time we're gonna jump.
I mean, most people gonna jump. Like, they do it anyway.
Shit,
most people jump anyway. They jump anyway.
So everybody wearing skinny jeans right now? Nah.
I'm saying,
people
like,
wearing skinny jeans, people dyeing their hair crazy colors just because their friends doing it. So whatever.
So what y'all think about like those sources of power though? Like, do you think those are too abstract, or those are more pinpoint? And like, do you see like issues, or can you put something to those? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, me personally, my bad. This damn Swedish fish is sticking to my tooth. But
now, why are you gonna do that to yourself?
This man gonna eat on the podcast. You see how he eating on the podcast or eating Swedish fish? Look at him.
Look, man, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Get some red stuff right there in his teeth. Look at him.
Hey, man, don't get me like that. But like, of course, physical power. Like, so say if I'm like a wrestler or something like that, I like to do Muay Thai stuff, like feeling the motion and the power of how somebody moves. It allows me to have dominion over them because I can control how they use their power, that type of thing. But I mean, I can see that in the physical aspect. Definitely easy to see in power. I think, and I don't want to get into a deeper point, but I think when it comes to that, it's more about when people know to use that type of power. But I think that's what all of them.
That's big.
So, but then of course, wealth. I think wealth just leads to the influence, bro. Like it just leads to you. If you're able to buy your way in the groups, you now buy influence, which I mean, it really is just my money tells you what to do.
Ooh, thank you. Cause see, so now when we think about this too, something about this is like us as black people, right? Our community, right? So when I used to hear the old term black power, these are the things that actually really came to my mind. Was, yes, yes, we're strong. We can be strong, but we also know how to be meek. How to not use our strength, to intimidate.
True.
And then you get to the point of wealth, like EYL. EYL right now is doing all the wealth shit for us. Like the financial literacy, like they're changing the game within this space. Them, Wall Street Trapper, all those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like they're changing the game in the wealth part. Like that's one aspect of power that they're shifting to help us as black people get to the point to where now our dollar actually means more than just a consumerism. It means that we can actually change the next part, which is state action. Because now the laws can be changed and work within our favor. So we talking about these things like the social norms. Like we talking about how as men we need to be better fathers, also be better men, and so forth. That's social norms. If we keep allowing the youth to do the same things, like we're abusing our powers. We have the power to change a lot of this that's out there, but we're abusing that power. Are we misusing the power, put it like that? Because we're not abusing it because we don't have it, but we're just misusing the power.
Yeah. I Loki, I want to let you get in, but I got to say this real quick because the social norms piece, when you brought that up, the only thing I could think about is Kendrick in his new album, Mr. Morale. Like dead ass, like he's talking about how these are the social norms that we've come to accept and to put it on the screen, but we got to change that shit because it ain't right. Like it's holding us back more than it's helping us gain more power and more influence on other generations and stuff like that. So I feel like that was big for hip hop, but dead ass he was on to something with that. He's dead ass on to something. So, but social norms, I can't stand it. I hate it. Go against the grain sometimes.
I'm just looking at, so you pointed out 6 sources of power. I'm trying to figure out if society values one more than another. Like to me, when I think about power, I think wealth is really big. Like people talk about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and all them. So they assume that they have power just off of wealth. I think COVID showed us how big state and legal powers can regulate us. So that state action was pretty present recently. And then social norms with the TikToks and the social media in general is just, I think those are my big 3 that I'm seeing, I think, most present. So what do you guys think?
I do think there's one that's valued more than others. I'll be honest with you, I think it's wealth. And the reason, and I know it's going to sound pretty much cliche, but money open up doors that some people just will never be able to go through. And because like lobbying, for example, when you talk about businesses, Elon Musk he's one of the richest guys in the United States, probably one of the richest guys in the world. Same thing with Jeff Bezos. I promise you, they can sway some actual like litigation or legislation in order to get things in their favor for bigger business. And when you do things like that, the people within our class feels everything. In the middle class and below, they feel everything. So taxes can go up, but who hurt on taxes more than anybody? Middle class and below. The rich ain't hurting on taxes like that because you already got the money, you can pay those taxes. I ain't trying to count in their pockets, but you have different. You have a different advantage because you have tax loops and different advantages that you can use to your leverage. Because you can consult lawyers, all types of things to your fingertips because you have the access to do it, right? Which is power, which is the influence. And for example, I saw an ad, Balenciaga, right? Balenciaga put an ad out of some toe-up shoes selling for $2,000. I promise you somebody's going to buy those toe-up shoes. Like they just walked to a trash can, pulled the shoes out and was like, hey, we're going to put it on here and see what somebody's going to buy. Because now they don't care about really putting out quality. It's about the name. because they're considered a luxury brand. We consider a luxury brand. It's always a high end. Oh, I want this. I want this. So it's the same thing with the money piece. Everybody wants to show like they're wealthier than what they really are. How many times you went to the club and dapped out in polo, throwing out ones and shit, and act like you balling out here just to get back in the Honda Civic and drive home, or maybe even catch an Uber, and then you better don't have enough money for a damn McDouble. But yet still, you riding out here, you stunting on people. You know what I'm saying? You stunting people with a BMW, but you really can't make the payments.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Because you want to look like you're wealthy, so that way you can get into certain areas or have access to certain things that other people can't have.
Okay.
Who spoke on that? Who spoke on that recently? You sent us a video with this comedian, black guy from Africa.
Oh, damn. Michael Blackson.
Michael Blackson spoke on the same topic where he's like, I don't want to have this car. I don't really, I really don't care to have it. But if I was to say I'm this person and I don't have this, they're not going to take me seriously. So I have to play a game,
Yeah. So I want to take it a different direction though, because I oppose what you said slightly. Let me say why. Because a lot of that stuff is about social norms as well. A lot of that about the shoes is social norms. They see my friends think they value this. I want to impress my friends. Oh, okay. Social norms. You got it. You can have that. Wealthy, that's definitely in contest for top spot. But I have to say that the laws and bureaucracy, got it. I said it right. All right. So look, the reason why I say this is because all the money in the world is used to sway them to make major adjustments in locations that they're building. So yeah, their money is definitely allowing it to be swayed, but the law has the overarching thing. They get it's a reason why politicians stay in business. They are, even if you don't see them make the most money throughout the year, you know how much other stuff they're getting paid from, whether it's to move mountains and say, hey, I need you to network with me and say, hey, this is going to be a good business deal, or this is going to be a good spot for our state because we need to bring in money or tourism or however they see it. I feel like laws and the bureaucracy is what really is at the top, in my opinion. It's just a thought. Because if you think about it, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But like I said before, though, the people that influence, if you go back in time and look at it, Dale Carnegie, you had the Rothschilds, you had J.P. Morgan Chase, you had Rockefellers. All those people influenced the shit that we have now. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were entrepreneurs, but they influenced the laws to the point to where big business will get saved before anything. You like look at, for example, like the Ukraine situation, right? Biden sends money over there to aid them, $40 billion. When you have people in your own country that like so what does that what does that tell you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're not gonna make us no money.
Where?
You're not gonna give us no more.
Correct. Where's the value at? The value is where? Making the laws, creating this network, creating these ties. It's building more wealth somewhere else. Like we're not doing shit to maintain like the lower class and the middle class, lower class is not the power is they try to take the way they control us is through social norms, and through like state actions how they control us. Mm-hmm. And then when you get poor, like as far as the wealth class, when you get to the point to where you're in poverty, that's when they really control you by physical force.
Mm-hmm.
I got something too. I'm not sure if either you know the answer, but you brought it up. Has the U.S. ever had a foreign nation come to our aid? Like, we keep on going everywhere else to help them. Has anybody helped us with like U.S. stuff on our soil? Once.
Well, actually twice. Because Britain came back and helped us once, but before that, it was it was German Depression, and then also France. So it was 3 times we were helped.
But
that was early on in the infant stages of the actual country.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I think. Go ahead.
No, it's just weird to me. I know we got a lot of assets we're trying to protect and all that, and more we're trying to acquire. But it's like if we supposed to be allies, why is it not?
Perfect example.
Beneficial
during 9/11. Did anybody do shit for us?
Not that I like. Nothing.
You don't know, do you?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. You don't know. And I mean, and the real fact about it is it's the reason why we're feared, though. Like, why we're respected as much as we are, because they're doing something with these outside nations. But maybe that's the whole point of it. They're trying to protect what we have here and control what we have here. We don't want really too many outsiders coming in, but we'll go help them because we want to control more outlying areas. We're looking to gain more property.
And what that goes into, you know, that goes into,
which one?
Is social power. Is the types of social power.
Okay. That's solid though.
So, like, for example, what you're saying right there, you're talking about rewards. You're talking about rewards are legitimate power.
Okay.
Like, if you're talking about reward power talks about rewards that are given when others comply with your wishes.
True.
Legitimate power is positional authority. Example, parents or boss.
No, you got a good point, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's definitely a reward for working with these outside, like, countries and stuff like that, man. But that's that networking thing, man. But it pays dividends. It definitely pays dividends.
But see, what I'm saying though, is with the type of power I'm talking about is for us as individuals, because as individuals we have a lot of influence and power within our sphere of influence. Sometimes don't get twisted. We worry too much about the outside shit that we don't worry about what's in front of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
like our kids, our wife, you know, our family, whatever. We don't worry about the shit that's in front of us. So now we're putting our energy out to some shit that we really can't control, that we really can't influence, because we don't have that. We don't have like the other things. We don't have the wealth. We don't have the state action ability. We don't have the numbers to do this shit. We might have ideas.
Yeah, we do have ideas. On God,
we might have ideas, but then what's the idea if it's not actually working right now? It's just a dead vision, which we talked about earlier. It's a dead vision. You can have an idea all day long, but if that idea is not actually now being put into motion, what's the point?
Facts.
So,
I feel that.
So like now with us going to where we at as individuals, that's when I look at our social power. Like, what type of social power do you have within your sphere of influence?
What's our social? So you talking about any group, like even our podcast, is this considered a social power?
It is. It is a social power. Like podcasting is a social power. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Netflix, even Netflix. All these things, our modes of entertainment and what we actually ingest is all of that. But what you have? Okay. Somebody, I think you have something.
I'm sorry, my mind just like blew, because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, this is literally a roadmap. This is a roadmap. Like, if you look at it, but you might have to switch them around, right? So ideas, the idea that you create can be something grand. And it ain't nothing until you can put it to work, but sometimes you need help to put it to work. So now you try to build your numbers. You use that idea, influence others to follow what you're doing. Y'all build on it together. You collect legitimacy. You become someone serious. Now you use your social norms. Within your spirit, you said, that helped me gain more numbers. So now you use yours. You bring in more people. We got a bigger group here. We got a bigger idea that's more feasible, because now we got all these people that are here that are of one mind. That's going to build wealth, help move the state. Yo, we don't even need the physical force, but the physical force comes with it later when we got the group. I'm just saying, bro, it just comes with it.
Sometimes you need physical force because people will try to test you and break down your ideas because they're fearful, because you created fear. If you ever read it's a book by Machiavelli, it's the art of teaching fear. It's the art of fear. If I remember, something like that. It's like something dealing with the art of fear. But literally, like, it talks about how to instill fear into people. And some of that stuff is what currently goes on. So that's why I said, what is power and where does it come from? And the fact that it's like, what's the different types of power we have? We're talking about social power now. So with the social power piece, you're talking about, coercive power. Coercive power is the ability to pretty much deliver punishments when the others don't comply. We see that all the time. We see it all the time.
We're raised like that.
Yeah. If you don't do this, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yes.
Policing is coercive power.
You know what? I love this, bro. Like, I really do. I'm fucking enjoying this, because it's opening up my eyes, and I don't know if it's because I feel good right now, but what I'm saying to you is this. It's like I found that out between my wife and I, trying not to be that type of parent. Because our power does not need to stem from fear, because I don't want to hold my kids back. I don't want to hold you back from anything, because fear is not of God. Like, real talk, believe it or not, God don't want you to be scared of him. He wants you to understand I need you to respect me. I need you to understand the purpose that I have set for you. I need you to abide by the rules.
It's called reverence.
Talk to him. I'm just saying, like, I, in my opinion, I felt like I never wanted to lead by fear, because I didn't think that I could strike fear into anybody's heart. And honestly, I realized I didn't want to strike fear into anyone's heart. I wanted to instill something that you felt better about. That way, if you give me any type of power or influence over you, that you're not guided down a wrong path. So I take that, and I was like, well, respecting people gives me more respect back. It's like getting more bees with honey, you know? And that's how I see as a legitimate power that was placed in the right direction. But fear is definitely how we've gotten this far. They say, oh, COVID here, shit, don't go outside. You know, I'm scared. It's a lot of ways to instill fear. We're scared of everything naturally. But I've reached a point where I want the people that follow behind me to not be fearful of what's next, and learn, gain the knowledge, and move forward and understand this world. Move through with respect, because this earth is crazy, bro. It'll fuck you up in any type of way. But you got to respect its boundaries, and that's with anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah, what you got, Loki?
Soapbox, but I'm done.
Oh, you good?
Nah, I love the energy, man. This sound like this was your episode to shine. Every episode, somebody got to be that MVP. So take that.
It always will be. Yeah, man.
But I'm with you 100% on that fear part. Like, that fear is short lived when you instill fear for power. And eventually, like, the people you lead in aren't gonna follow you for the right reason, and they'll probably, stray away from you, because nobody wants to operate in fear their whole life. But so I think it's just it's a big part of oh yeah, my fault. It's a big part of just being responsible with all these different type of powers. And I think a lot of us, as we grow, we learn to have restraint and grace in different aspects of power. But yeah, go ahead, chime in.
Yeah, so because what both of y'all said, you talked about reference basically, but there's a power called referent power, which is the same thing. It's the root word of reverence. In reference power, it's pretty much when somebody wants to be like you. It's a role model type power, where because you led by example, people want to do what you're doing, and they want to do exactly how you do it. Like, everybody want to be like Mike.
Right.
Yeah,
it's the same shit. People want to be like Mike. So when Kobe emulated Michael Jordan's exact play style to the T, like, that was referent power. Mike had that type of influence of him to be like, okay, you know what? Let me reach down to this young boy and really give him some stuff. Because even Mike would tell you, Mike said in an interview, he said, yo, I don't know why I was giving him all my secrets, bro. Like, dang. But I did. He said, he was like, bro, I don't know why. Like, he was the only person I ever talked to like this that gave him everything. He's the only one worthy of it. Probably. It was Kobe. Mamba, Black Mamba. That's that dude, though. But those type of things are very. I think referent power comes after you have this one power, and there's one power I like to use all the time. Is expert power. Okay. Expert power pretty much is like the knowledge that is a source of power of an expert, or the expertise of a certain area. Like when you're really knowledgeable of something, somebody's gonna come find you for what you know, right? And it's okay for you to tell them what you know, especially if transferring information to other people is very powerful. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. Facts.
But being an expert in a field, knowing like if I can go talk to anybody right now, it's like really sit down and have a conversation with them, I probably would talk to Jeff Bezos. Okay. If not Jeff Bezos, I'd probably talk to Jay. If not Jay-Z, I'd probably talk to Megan Johnson, to be honest with you. Or Shaq. Like just to pick their brain. Yeah. Like, Bob Johnson, like just to pick their brain on like what made you, do this? If I can go back in the time, I want to talk to Frederick Douglass. What made you think like this? Like, why, like, it's just to get that power. Sometimes you don't need nothing from nobody, just mentorship. Right. But that expert power will allow you to become referent, because now people see that you really own your shit. You know what you're talking about. So now not only will they trust you, now they want to be like you. Now they want to model themselves after you, which is that influence you talked about earlier.
Yeah. Facts.
I think about Young Thug when I hear this. When I see this shit, I think about Young Thug, Wayne, all these dudes, these different dudes that have been locked up in the hip hop game. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like, a lot of young kids want to do exactly what they did. They trying to live the same lifestyle they did. For what? To end up in the same situation that they did.
Same. Yo, they happy to go to prison, bro. I don't get it. Bro. I don't get it. They happy. They're like, well, I can't wait. Boy, my cousin up in there, my dad in there. Yeah. Like, bro, why you in jail with your daddy, bro? I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's true, but that's the dark side to the referent power, because you can either abuse it or you can use it properly, like it's supposed to be used. But when people abuse it, like recently, like I said, with Young Thug, Little Durk, all them dudes, man, like they have so much influence on these kids. They're not gonna tell them, hey man, I ain't really doing this shit no more. Or why you got one foot in the street and one foot in the studio? For what,
bro? If they really see that, they'll know better, though, because you can't be touching that and still be out in the public. Come on, we know better.
Anyway. But like we said before, people see better all the time, but they still do wrong.
That's facts. That's facts.
They still do.
That's facts.
Like, they still do this shit. You saw the stove was hot, but your ass was on. You still touched the shit.
Still touch that mother.
For what?
You leaving some keys right there, though. I think one thing you just said was that expert power. I think it should be in our toolbox right now to strive to learn at least one task to become an expert in one field. One,
facts.
That's a stream of income. And two, I think that's just like how I like to do right now. I'm going through my phone book, right? And I'm trying to, underneath your name, first and last, it says like your job title. But for me, I want to put what are you to me? How do you fit into my life? And one could just be a field of knowledge for medicine. One could be a field of knowledge for entertainment. So
that's dope.
I think just really locking in. So when somebody brings up your name, you don't got to be everything, or you could be more than one. But just what is your primary that if somebody comes to you, for me, it could be DJing. They want to know how to DJ. I could tell them a couple things, and that could be it. But at least have one thing that when people call out your name, that's the first thing they're gonna think of. And that's gonna start you up.
That's true.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, go ahead. But it's like what
I was about to say. It's very similar to that thing, a jack of all trades or a master of one. Like, you can choose to be either or. Me, I ain't gonna lie to you personally. I feel like a jack of all trades type of guy, but I know they always say the jack of all trades, but a master of none. I feel like there's a bit more to that statement, because there's a lot of trades that I have that I actually mastered before I moved on. So now they're in my tool bag. If I ever go back to them, I got them. But, anyway, that's something else.
Yeah. No, I feel you. And, so my question to you is this, though, because like, how can the power be leveraged? How can we leverage our power that we have?
Well, first, like you said, you had to identify the power that you do have. Once you identify the power and the influence that you have, then you can go sit at other tables of equal power or more and simply say, hey, I got this amount of followers. The social media platforms, they do it all the time. I have this amount of followers. If you pay me, I can get you this amount of followers. Like that's a simple way you can like leverage it, but that's like plain and simple. Now, there are deeper ways you can leverage your power, as honestly investing into yourself and believing in that you can do the same thing that you see a multi-billion-dollar corporation trying to do or actively doing.
Okay.
But that's just belief in yourself. That's the first power, huh?
No, I like that. I'm gonna kind of ride off of that a little bit more. I think how I'm trying to move is I want people to be fluent, like naturally fluent in what they do. So once I identify your power, if you per se read books every day, that's what you do without me having to ask you. That's what you just do. That's a strong suit that I might weaken. So let me use your strong suit to benefit me, and then I give you my strong suit. And it's kind of like, I think the leverage comes for me because it's like that time hack. So like we only got 24 hours in a day. So if I know that you can catch me up a whole 5 hours, just from something you do naturally, that's gonna boost my whole day because I can use you for that. So just time hacking for that.
Okay, so go ahead.
Time,
no, go ahead. You had it.
No,
So,
I was agreeing with that.
Okay. So reason why I asked that question because it kind of goes into the power of influence. So this is the reason why I asked that question, because how you can leverage it, right? So reciprocity, you talked about it. This for that. I do this for you, and then in return, you feel like you feel like you owe me now. In other words, a debt. So now, if I need to take a day off, you're gonna cover for me. Okay. It's that reciprocity rule. So then you got contrast. Contrast is more of where you have, let's say it's a $250 shirt, right? However, you wouldn't buy a $250 shirt just by itself. But if you see it with amongst other inventory, let's say $1,000 jacket or a $500 pair of shoes, that $250 shirt don't look like nothing now compared to the rest of the shit.
Got you. Okay, I get you.
See what I'm saying? So that's what they do in marketing too. They do things like that on purpose. Like that medium drink is always like 30 to 20 cents more than the small drink, but it's like about 50 cents less than the large drink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's you see what I mean? So then you have scarcity. Scarcity is where like Loki said, trading for time, right? He don't want to read all these books. However, somebody else is doing it. So he's gonna either pay for it. Yeah, I mean, probably my ass, but either he's gonna pay for it. He's gonna pay for that service, but he's gonna want to jump on that ASAP because the time is limited, or whatever it is that he's looking for is limited. Like, let's say, for example, you want to buy a house, and he put down an offer for $20,000 on a house, right? Yeah. However, somebody else come behind him and put down $50,000, but that's the house he wants. But he really want to pay the full price of the house right away. He wanted to pay 20% down, 10% down. Now somebody put down 50% down. He's like, yo, all right, we're gonna put the whole thing, fuck it, because he wanted. Yeah. Because he felt like that's the last shit that he wanted. It's the last house on the market. So that scarcity is another way to leverage your power. Then you talk about dating. This is a big one. Dating is people always leveraging dating. Remember in high school with the girl you wanted to talk to? What she was doing out here talking to the older dudes. The older dudes can know why, because the older dudes can do what? Drive the car. They can drive a car. They can take it away they want to take them. They had the money because you didn't have that yet. You were still in school. Right. But now look. Who has the leverage now? Who has the leverage? Who has the leverage now? I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, like,
directed to somebody.
No, I'm just saying. Personal. No, I'm saying because this typically happens to everybody. Like, bro, like it's girls you want to date, right? And then all of a sudden, you get, you're like, y'all see them, giving this dude all the attention because you know what? He can leverage it. He can leverage what he has to get who he wants. Yeah, right. True. You don't have that shit, but then when you glow up, and then either she don't or she does. You like, yo, what's up? I can leverage this shit too now. What's up? Right. So it's the whole dating aspect. It's a cat and mouse game, and then consensus. Yeah. Consensus is pretty much group thing.
Yeah, the majority.
Because the majority feel like that. Now you can leverage it. Well, everybody else is doing it. Why don't we just go ahead and roll this ecstasy? Smoke this blunt. Our homies doing it. Jeez. Yeah. See what I'm saying?
That happens.
It's peer pressure. Shit, who hasn't been through that shit before? And then you got consistency, and then you got social proof, right? So social proof is, for example, let's say that on TikTok, right? It's okay to body shame somebody, which I really don't give a shit if you body shame somebody or not, personally, because if you don't want to take care of your body, that's on you. But still,
you better get kicked off TikTok.
I mean, but I'm saying if you're on TikTok body shaming and shit, or being disrespectful, because for example, that's the social norm, or that's accepted by social norm, and you can validate, oh well, this is unhealthy because of blah 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 blah. Well shit, by me telling you that this is unhealthy because I can show you why it is, and I can give you physical like examples of what it would turn out to be. That's social proof. But then you talk about consistency, right? Consistency is the biggest one, the biggest leverage of power. Because when you consistent, can't nobody tell you shit. They can't refute what you're saying because you're constantly doing it. If you're showing up on time, if you're showing up on time to work, right? And your buddy's showing up late, you like, bro, why you always late to work, man? He's like, "What you mean, man? I set my alarm, bro. You gonna get fired, bro. Like, what's up?" You're like, but then the boss comes at you and say, "Hey, man, good job. I see you coming to work on time all the time. This is that." They give you a raise because just because you on time. You see in the military, motherfuckers can't even be on time to formation.
Facts. That was me.
But you know what I'm saying? but yet still they want to, they want to be NCOs. They want to be leaders. But you can't be on time.
Yeah.
Your consistency doesn't match up with what the fuck you want. Your consistency doesn't match up with what you want. But if you're consistent, now you have the right to ask for what you wanted because you constantly putting in the effort. See what I'm saying?
Getting somewhere now. I know you're going.
Then you have likability. Likability is the last one. Likability kind of consists of three different things. Similarity. In other words, when we say similarities, like me and you are alike. You know, we like the same thing. You know, we like the same music. You know, so that way now I can leverage you to get what I want because now we have something in common. That's how people. That's how you have these snakes in the grass. You got to cut that grass down because a lot of people like the same things you like just to get close enough to you to steal whatever you got.
That's crazy. It's true.
And then you get flattery. Flattery is always is one of the main things that get people in trouble because people are always gonna flatter you and praise you and give you all these good graces, but you got to remain humble. If you're not humble, you will fall for it every time.
That's good.
You will fall for it every time. Then you have collaboration, which is one of the biggest ones too. Collaboration is where we doing things together. Now, when you ask me for something, I don't feel like I feel like I can go ahead and give it to you. We work together all the time. We always do, we always kicking it. We always, hitting the club. We always, hitting the gym. But you say you need some money, you get likability. Yeah, go ahead.
You got likability?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to jump on that real quick because somebody just recently told me, and this is part of like investing into you. Because some people will just buy what you in, or you will gain influence because of the likability in a major way. For example, I started coaching at a school. They just like me. I just come there. I'm not paid. I'm just a volunteer. I'm just like any other person. But my attitude, my demeanor, how I carry myself, a lot of other things, consistency and all within all of that built my likability, which to the point where I have people that want to help me build myself up, my business, what I'm doing.
Without you asking.
That was a good way to leverage without me even asking. So likability is a major one, but you can't always be liked as well.
Yes.
Of course.
Sometimes you gotta make those hard calls.
Listeners, family, friends, I know y'all tired of writing notes. I know it's heavy. So I'm gonna give us a quick breather, quick break because they landed heavy on you today. Thanks. So as a light question, do anybody on the show have a power fragrance? Is there a scent that you think screams power that you can walk into a room with and that just represents power to you? Anybody got anything that they wear on a regular?
Oh yeah, I do. I got 3. I have one for every season. Then I have one. I have like one for different occasions.
No, that's I'm about to take some notes now. Hold up.
I got one for different occasions too. So it depends. Like since now it's like the summertime, right? It's like summertime right now. So right now I'm wearing Versace Arrows.
Okay.
It's pretty light, or even Creed. Creed is dope. Creed, the white bottle Creed, that shit money. But typically it's my everyday fragrance that I just put on whenever I feel like it is Giorgio Armani Acqua di Giorgio.
Okay,
Acqua
that's
di
a
Gio.
common.
It's the blue bottle. The blue bottle, like that's just a
not
regular.
the blue one. I know the little clear one, the white.
I'm talking the blue one. It's the blue one. It's the Profumo. So that one I wear that one pretty much every day. It's like just I put that shit on with anything. Okay. It goes good with everything. But now the one that would turn your head, that will like make a motherfucker like second guess themselves, is that Valentino for men.
Okay,
Valentino for men, bro. I wear that
diamond
shit.
Bottle.
I wear that shit in the fall and the wintertime, bro. The spring. My wife, boy, she love that shit. I put that shit on.
That's that sauce.
I hear Trey Songz panty dropper. I'm telling you, bro.
Mac,
the penny dropper.
I know you got one or two, Mac.
Mac got one or two,
Mac. What you got?
I won't lie to you, bro. I'm really old school at this point. I actually just had a talk with my son about
Better not say no curve.
about this.
That's too old, bro.
No
That's
damn
middle school.
cool water. You got that cool water. Javon must for men.
Root. No, hey, look. No. I like the Polo Ralph Lauren.
Which one?
It was in a red bottle.
That's a safe bet.
Polo red.
That's
You
a
want
safe
Polo
bet.
red?
That's yeah.
Polo
yeah,
red is
Polo
nice. Polo red is nice.
It
Like
was
Polo
straight.
black was dope. Polo
See,
black
I
was
ain't
that
had
shit
Polo
though.
Black. I want to get that one though.
No,
Okay.
the one you
All right, but
hey, when you
that's
get a
my
chance,
go-to.
bro. When you get a chance, bro, go
Yeah.
get Coach. Go get that Coach for men.
For real,
Uh-oh.
Coach?
Go get Coach for
Yeah,
men.
I'll be out here
go get
smelling
Coach.
like a whole woman on y'all there.
Go get go get Coach for men, bro. I'm about to go buy me another
Coach for
bottle.
men.
Go get Coach for men.
Okay.
See, I'm
What you
taking
got,
notes.
Loki?
You already put me on. I don't know if I got 3. I might got 3. Mine's kind of
Yeah.
basic though. I like this. I like a Tom
What-
Ford.
Which one?
It's a Tom
It
Ford
was Black
bottle.
Orchid. Black Orchid.
It's a black bottle, a little short
Black Orchid.
bottle.
Yeah, with the gold label.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
that's
the
Black
Tom
Orchid. I
Ford
get that
joint.
same shit, bro. I get that same shit.
It's the one called Bad Boy. It's got like a lightning bolt container. I forgot who made the Bad Boy.
Is it Moschino?
It's
That's not
Bad
Moschino.
Boy. Nah, it's a lightning bolt bottle, gold and black. Bad Boy's pretty good though.
Okay.
I gotta do better. And then
Hey,
the
Lucky Brains have
Savage.
some good one. Lucky Brains have some good shit. Oh, Savage de Dior.
Yeah, the Dior
Yeah, that
Savage
shit,
is like my
yeah.
top 3. But
I
that
used to
one's
wear
kind
that
of
shit
used
all
up.
the time.
Everybody got that one. So
Yeah, I used to wear that
but
a
my
long
point
time ago.
of bringing this up was with the power. I think a lot of it starts internally with self. So
Mhm.
just want y'all to remember that this ain't all just learn. If you starting off your day stepping out the house right,
Yeah.
the power fragrances, you stepping with your head up, you striding a little bit, longer. That's gonna also start that influence. People gonna look at you like, oh man, should I be replicating what he's doing? They're gonna want to know what's making you move like that. So, just making sure that you can even make a change to gain more power, more influence just by how you move when you wake up and when you start your day.
Like Loki said, just change your system up. Reprogram your system. Just redo it. So
is there a difference though?
yeah,
I got you.
between power and influence,
Right.
or between Valentino and Coach. I'm just-
Well, shit,
That's
they
a
both.
difference.
It might. They both got different influences.
yeah,
They
hey,
might have
There it
different
is.
powers. I'm just saying.
I see what you're
Now,
doing there too.
I don't know. Is there a difference between power and influence? Let me see. I think there actually is.
Okay, I'm here.
So like you said, the power is the ability to do, right? It's action.
Right.
So in other words, you can control how people act. Influence is a little bit different because influence you have to really, you can't control how they act. You can control their behaviors or what their beliefs are. You know what I mean? Like you can change their morals. You can shape somebody's mindset to the point you can influence them to change their mindset, but you can't control. You can't use power to change their mindset.
Okay.
If you understand what I mean, if you understand what I mean, like because the power
like
it's real close. They're very close together, but they're done simultaneously. They're not done one before the other. They're done almost at the same time.
I want to say power is passive and influence is active. I feel like you actively know what you're trying to do when you're influencing a situation. Where sometimes power can just be, it's just like I said, it's just there. It might just be a God-given thing. So for me, influence is you put more thought into why you moving how you moving for influence. But Mac,
you use influence to gain power.
For sure, but you put more thought into it. A lot of people with power is just in that place. Like you said, if you just have money, you are powerful, essentially, right? You don't have to really give a thought to how you or why you have the money. It's just you have it.
And you influential
what you do with
at the same time.
What you do with it is, but now you're thinking about what you're doing. Once you start influencing, you're thinking about how can I make this more? How
Correct.
can I get something more for myself or X, Y, and Z?
So in other words, you use influence to gain power.
More power.
Okay, so from what y'all saying and what I'm hearing and what I'm thinking, all right, they go hand in hand.
Say it again. Say that exact sentence again.
What y'all saying from what I'm hearing?
What y'all saying from what I'm hearing and what I'm thinking inside is they go hand in hand.
I love it.
It was close enough. All right.
I love it.
So I feel like they do go hand in hand, but like I was saying, I feel like it's a meter. Like,
okay,
you turn up the power, you get more influence. But then they go hand in hand where if you got influence, you turn up the power. Like I feel like they go side by side.
Yeah,
like you were
simultaneously. Yeah, simultaneously.
Yeah. But if you lose what you have in power, you can also lose influence.
Mm-hmm.
So the wealthy that lose money, they might not lose all of their influence, but they lose a certain portion of that influence.
Okay,
Take
so
AB. Okay, go ahead.
No, use it. Go ahead, use it.
Okay, take AB for example. All right, dominant football player, made money. We knew he had his little issues, okay, here and there. But when he started losing shit, people thought less of him. So he lost followers off top. Then all the extra stuff that came behind it was all negative that caused him to lose followers, but then he gained negative shit. Does that make sense? It probably ain't as clear as it should be, but y'all, you get the general point.
Or it's or it's like for example, like you said, like it's like a famous. You ever seen somebody in your school that was a dope baller, like it can ball their ass off?
Yeah,
very, very, very popular in school. Had all types of power, all types of influence around their friends. But guess what? After we graduated high school, they didn't make it. They didn't make it to college. They didn't get accepted. And now the only thing they living in high school memories. So now their influence has went away completely. Their power has went away completely.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have some of those who do make it to college and they want to make it into the league. Mm-hmm. They still have influence, but they might not have the amount of power, for example, because let's say they're on the team with LeBron James, like Danny Green was, right? I know Danny Green from back in UNC.
Mm-hmm.
I remember throwing parties. Come to some of my parties back in UNC. So with Danny Green, right? Danny Green has influence, but he has limited power.
Mm-hmm.
I think
except for around his circle of friends that's in his inner circle, he has that type of power and influence, right? Because right now, me and you, like us three, we have power and influence around our circle, right? But to everybody else, we don't have that. We don't have that. So it's all about who's in your
No. When you're saying this, because we already broke it down in the beginning, power in 6 different ways. So I think influence is more directly tied to social norms and maybe wealth, but you still have innate attributes like physical force. That's not tied to your influence. Like you can still be,
What about Suge
Knight?
Somebody. What about Suge Knight?
He's still, if he walk in the room, he's still going to give a presence of power.
Mike Tyson has physical force.
He still would walk into a room and still give off the attribute of power, regardless of if he's broke or not, just because of the intensity that he brings in. So I think influence is connected to some of power, but not all of it. So I don't want to say it's directly at the same up and down connected to each other.
I feel that, but when I think of like you brought up which one was it? Shit. I'm thinking of games. Straight up and down. I'm thinking of games when you brought up
Suge Knight.
Physical. No, physical power.
Oh yeah, physical.
When you think of or army or any big group, which is also numbers, so it kind of goes back. It kind of all like circle together. But when you have physical power, you have the ability to inflict force on whoever. That's how you gain that power, and that's also influential.
And that's through fear.
They can't stop you. It's fear. So, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I think it's a solid balance in everything that we're saying all together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I feel like that's more of a fear thing when you talk about physical force, because they still have major influence. Influence comes with power, but it is not just power.
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah. Okay. That's real shit.
Okay.
I think about that because I want to be rich as fuck, but I don't want to do rich as fuck situations. That makes sense. Well, I don't like people. I want to have the money, but I know when I get the money, these motherfuckers going to have to come here. And I'm going to have to deal with them. I'm going to have to tell them, hey, you got to do this and this and this. But I don't really like people like that. I just like want to be in my boat and make money. You feel what I'm saying?
So that should go on your vision board, because that's going to direct your moves from here out, if that's what you truly want.
But it already does. That's why I'm here all the time.
Oh, man.
I understand what you're saying on that. I get what you're saying on that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Saying, man, my bad. Y'all got me going. Y'all got me going. Leave me alone.
Nah.
Oh, hey, I don't like people. I want to do rich shit, but I don't like people.
Hey, but hey, for real, I don't look, real talk. I talk to my wife about this all the time because, man. I know y'all probably like for fraternities and sororities and stuff, and that shit cool as fuck. But me personally, I don't like to be like in major groups that I gotta do, like, I don't know. People do dumb shit when they get in big groups. They make flawed decisions. They jump on motherfuckers for no. I got jumped, so I'm like, I don't want to be in no group. But I got these hands for anybody else, I don't know, man. It just go a lot of different ways.
You really speaking on some power stuff though, because that's the whole purpose of seclusion. Like that's why so many of these islands and certain places are hot spots for the wealthy, because they want to do rich people stuff without interactions from it. So it's actually like that exclusivity. No.
Exclusivity.
Messed that one up.
I don't know.
That is what
we all did.
You're saying. That's what you're saying.
Is it exclusivity?
Exclusivity.
Hey Siri.
Exclusivity. Yes, that sounds right.
Get Siri on
y'all let us know in the comments if that sounds right. we all types of fucked up right now.
But that's what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying. So it's a real thing, and it's just, I think you're thinking like a wealthy person. Honestly.
Yeah.
I hope so. I gotta get the financials there, then we'll be on track. But we on the road.
It's coming.
I got the ideas.
It's coming. It's in the culture, man. It's in the culture.
So, question. So, is the culture being to blame for this abuse of power, or the excuse of power?
Yup. Because that's why 50 Cent put that show out called Power. It's all culture.
Hey, but that show is perfect though for this actual episode. Show is very perfect because that show shows you every form of power that you can possibly use if you really pay attention to it, and how they're all being leveraged at different angles and different ways, and everybody think they're getting what they want. Everybody think they're getting what they want, but who really is getting what they want?
They think they're getting what they want,
but who's getting what they want?
Yeah, but see, that's the shit that aggravates me. That's the shit that aggravates me, because if that's the culture and that's how you leverage your power. And I know this is reality and this is how life is too, because that shit is real. People really have to do these situations, but like, why can't you find, and I know why you can't. I know the answer. This is very rhetorical, but why can't you find people that you could just do solid business with, where you don't have to use and leverage your power that much, but you use your resources to work together? Why can't that be the situation instead of it? I'm just going to play your ass until I got your ass, and now you fucked and I got your bread.
You want me to tell you why?
Your fault.
I think, here's what I think. I think it's technology. I think if we were back in an agricultural era where you knew you had to depend on your neighbor for X, Y, and Z, and you didn't know what was happening across the whole world, you would think less of like, oh, I got these options to do X, Y, and Z. I could F him over, or I could. Yeah. It's just, I think now we got so much, or we think we have so many options. We think we have so much we can do. We always trying to one up or get over on somebody differently. So I think technology is having a big input on our perspective of power.
I think that's just the culture. I think that's the way of life.
You think music or film or anything has to do with any of that?
Honestly, yes. It all does. I personally think the shit is all connected. First off, but leveraging, like in the music industry, man, that shit's so fucking ugly, bro. And I'm not completely in it, but just knowing the things I had to do to try to get things going is just like using your leverage and using the little power that you have, or not even power, because it's really just a slight influence to get your artists put on and shit like that. Film, get to these festivals and try to put the best takes. Man, I don't know, man. It just, I don't.
So the reason why I asked that question is because Tank, I watched an interview with Tank and Drink Champs, and they said, and Tank made a. So what happened was, I'll give you the backstory. So Nori was talking to Tank, and FNN was talking to Tank about how Nori transitioned from hip hop to reggaeton, and how the violence was the big difference in violence at the shows, right? He said, man, like for some reason hip hop always make people want to be violent versus R&B makes people just want to spread love. He said, man, what your shows, man, I feel jealous because everybody here like loving and shit. Nobody's fighting and shit after, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but mine's,
yeah.
it's the opposite. And Tank was like, well, he said, the issue, he said, but why is that? He said, because 98% of the people in rap, typically are depicting violence. He said, why are they always picking the best of us as the worst of us? And so he was like, he said, because if I sang Sam Smith's song, Stay With Me, it won't go on. It won't go on Power 103. He said, mine won't get put on there at all. I would get no rotation. But for Sam Smith, he would get put there. I said, why is that? He was like, because our violence isn't the threat. Our love is.
That's fact.
He was like, he said, our violence isn't the threat. He said, our love is the threat. He said, because if you look at it, he said, think about it. If me as a black man pouring into my kids, pouring into my wife, pouring giving them that love, that's the worst thing that can happen to anybody.
You building
because
too much.
Correct, you building. You're using your power to do what? To build and influence those that are around you. That spirit of influence. So when Tank said that, I was like, bruh. I said, that man speaking facts.
Facts, bro.
So
facts.
So to me, culture is to blame too, and I'm saying culture because based off the culture we have currently now, what we are accepting as a social norm in the black community, it is to blame. It is to blame.
You know what?
We are to blame for it, and we are to blame for it. We are to blame for it because we're allowing this shit to take place. We're allowing certain things to be put up higher than others, because we want to get a paycheck. So we are to blame.
Damn.
Don't get twisted. I don't mind going to the club, dancing to some of that shit every now and then, but I understand when it's entertainment versus when it's reality. Like that's not my reality to be out on the streets busting guns. That's not my reality. I don't live like that. But I'm not going to glorify that shit either. I'm not going to glorify that shit for you. I'm not going to glorify that shit. I mean, I might watch Power. I might watch whatever the case may be. But once again, that's entertainment. That's not my reality. That might be some people's reality, but
we got to
it
still
be
balance it too, though.
Correct.
Like, even like what you're saying, it's got to be balanced. Like if we
Correct.
watching Power, then it should be a Family Matters or something on.
Yes.
That's gonna help us be like, all right, yeah, we can be in the streets, but we also have this option over here. Like we don't gotta just be in the streets. I mean,
yeah.
That's why I like J. Cole though.
Yeah,
like that's part of the reason why I like J. Cole, because even though every rapper has to have a bit of it, like the rough street shit, because you won't respect them in hip hop if they don't. It's a part of it. But
why? Why is that a part of it?
Because you have to be tough to live in the shit that we came up in. You have
don't.
to. I think so. I mean,
but you are a few
times, and I was just there.
Because the original hip hop from the start was about building up.
Correct.
True.
And you already tough. So if you're already tough, why you gotta show them that you tough? Why you gotta like play into the shit?
But even in real hip hop and before, they were battle rapping. Like battle rapping, you still had to be tough, and you can't come in there weak. You can't come in there not prepared. You can't come in there like you ain't finna come in here and say nothing positive to me. This shit ain't gonna be no nice rap. Good job, sir.
Yes, like, I mean it's no. I'm saying like it's braggadocious, but once again, it wasn't to the point where they're like, I'm gonna shoot you in your head and blow your fucking brains out, put your mama in the couch and tie them out. You know, what I'm saying? Like niggas, like come on, bro.
True.
Like it's different between talking tough. It's different between talking tough and then being a bitch that's scared of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have to talk tough to nobody. I ain't gotta talk shit to nobody. But I guarantee you, come test me if you want to. You might not make it home.
But that's what I'm saying. And
I'm not gonna walk around advertising my toughness because I'm insecure about my shit.
Yeah, true. But that's why I'll say I like J. Cole because he shows the grittiness, but he'll tell you I ain't never been out there doing this and that. Like, and I don't know this man from shit to shit, but I'm just saying in his music he took the best of us lyrically.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave us real shit that we can understand and grow with. That's why I think he's the best. Because I personally connect and I think I can grow with what he's saying and learning from it. It teaches me something to teach my son.
Correct. But there's a few of those that are out there that's really being played mainstream. That's what Tank was talking about. Was about that influence and who controls that. The money controls that because the companies that are signing these guys, do not want to have that type of power out there for us as black people to be portrayed as positive.
But how do you combat that?
That's what I was going to say. Because I think the more power you get, the less power you actually have.
Facts.
Like, it seems like it's not logical, but that's really how it is. Like, you think Elon Musk is able to make the moves he used to be able to make now that he's noted as a billionaire? Like, he's got nations looking at him now. Like, you can't do that. That's why they're getting so much trouble on Twitter. Like, they don't want him to be able to manipulate something to a point where they don't have control over the situation no more. Mm-hmm. So it's just it's weird. Once you get
when
to
your
a certain
money can
amount.
when your money can buy the state, the country, the region, like, it's different. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Money controls all that. That's all well.
But you got to be willing to part with that. That's a part of value. That's the reason we talked about before about value, setting the tone and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, what you value is what you're not willing to give up for. So even though Elon Musk can offer you X, Y, and Z, if you don't want to part with it, it's more valuable than what he willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, like, let's be honest with you. Is our culture valuable or is it not valuable?
It's valuable. It is.
I mean, it's valuable to who? Because it's not valuable to us. It seems like it.
Well, it's being driven by people that are not us. And
my point
most
exactly.
Of the time.
My point exactly. Okay. So is it really valuable to us if we sold our soul to do this shit? Is it really valuable to us? Or when are we going to take our culture back and actually make it more valuable? That's the reason why I enjoy what EYL says. I enjoy what Steve Harvey and them say. I enjoy what ET says. I enjoy what a lot of people say because they're trying to change their mind. They're trying to change people's mind. And which brought me back to one of the scriptures in the Bible, the parable of the sower. Luke 8:5 and through 18. In there, Jesus talked about like how, here was a sower, he planting seeds, but he throwing seeds into thorns. These seeds are growing, but they're getting choked out by the thorn. He planted in rocky soil. It doesn't really grow, but he planted in good soil and it grows. It's a reason for that. And the tree bears fruit. It's a reason for that. The reason being because those who have the ears that want to listen will listen and then change and apply that wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge in action. You can't say you have wisdom if you're not having knowledge in action. If we know this shit is wrong and the power that we can use as people to take our shit back, to make our culture what it's supposed to be, that's real power. We keep asking for shit back. We're asking for what's ours back. That's like that's OJ Simpson like shit. OJ asked for his shit back. Then he got tired and he went to get it back and then what happened? He got arrested and locked up for what? Went to go get his own shit back that was taken from him.
Yeah.
But we gotta stop asking for shit. I mean, we have the highest spending power in the whole country, right?
Yeah.
They vie for our vote every year. Every year they vie for the black people vote. Why? Why is that?
And we be all over the goddamn place.
Why do they want to get our vote so much? Why they want to pander to us when it comes down time for election time, but the rest of the time they don't see us? Because we have a certain amount of power that we have that we do not understand.
Yep.
That's real.
We have power that we just don't understand, and but some of us can see it, but a lot of us don't understand that piece. That the power that we have is the money that's coming out of our pocket, going back into their community, that's not feeding our community.
You know what? I think we got to find a way to start trusting each other, like our community again. I think that's one of the foundations. Like, say we got the power, we stand up. But who taking care of our family? Like, if we got this circle right here, this podcast, I need to know 100% if I'm going to risk my life to take back the power, y'all two got my family, or et cetera. And like, that's across the whole board. So
I got you. I mean,
that's across the board. I think because there's so many snakes, like you said, out in the world, like as a community, we don't trust each other enough to even stand up to start requesting, or not even requesting, but taking our power back, because we can't, our families, our households can't survive without us. In that place.
It's learned behavior, man. The shit that we experience is learned behavior from like hundreds of years ago. Learned behavior, all because of what? Because everybody want to have their own individual wealth, which is cool to have individual wealth, but at what cost? You know, it's cool. I mean, because the root word in neighborhood is neighbor. Community is commune. When you commune with somebody, you're taking part together.
Yeah.
So like. Like that's the part I don't really get. I don't understand. We know this shit needs to happen, but the reason why is because we are still running in that same vicious cycle of let me take from you because I don't have. So now you don't have, but I have what you had, and now you're trying to figure out how to get what you have from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
For what? Why can't I show you how to fish? Why can't I show you how to plant this seed? Why can't I show you how to do X, Y, and Z? Because you know why? We want shit when we want it right now. We still asking about 40. Yeah. We still asking about 40 acres and a mule. We still asking about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
We still asking.
Yeah.
That tells you we can't get it. We are asking.
Yeah.
Ukraine asked for $40 billion. They got that shit.
I don't even know what they asked. They probably just got it.
They probably didn't even ask. They just like, hey, help. All right, $40 billion. Here you go. You know what I'm saying?
But you got to get approval. You got processes to go through for that shit. We don't want to learn the processes. We don't want to learn. We want to just get it back. We want to just take it. We earned it. We should have had this for our ancestors going through this and that. Well, shit, man, this is not the way of the world. You're not just finna get shit for free. You got to learn the process. You got to learn what you need to get the money the way in the land you want to.
Yeah, so, that's the power, man.
It's in the way, man.
That's the power.
Yeah, real talk.
What you got for us, Loki?
Community call?
Yeah, what you got? Whoever.
Let's get some homework for him. No, let's get a book. Let's get a book for him to read real quick. Then we'll get to the community call to action. So since we talking about history and learning about some stuff, this week we need you to check out Dale Carnegie's 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and then How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So those are two great books that's going to be talking about power, the different forms of it, and then something you can apply. As soon as you finish reading it, you can apply it like immediately to your life.
Okay, say less. All right, so we're gonna do a quick community call. All right, call to action. So first, I'd like to say, take a step back and assess if you are using your power in a positive manner. Observe if someone is using this influence for you in a negative way. I read that wrong, boy. Is using theirs to influence you for the negative. Damn.
Shit.
All right, let me go back and do that again.
Front of time. We just talked about this too.
Hey, look, man, y'all know I don't, man. I don't know why. All right, take a step back and assess. Shut your ass up. God damn it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. All right. So take a step back and assess if you're using your power in a positive manner. Observe someone is using theirs to influence you for the negative. If they're using theirs to influence you for the negative. All right. Hey, look, y'all want to blame me, but I'm pretty sure that shit ain't put together right. All right, but pretty much what that's saying, though. Go ahead.
No, you get it, man. You get it, bro. He's trying to tell you. I'm going to be the translator, be the angry translator for him. What he's trying to tell you is this. Hey, look, look around, see if anybody's trying to use their influence in a negative way towards you. Because you might just be getting played.
There you go.
That's what he's trying to tell you. He's saying, protect your neck, like Wu-Tang said.
Okay. Protect your neck.
Makes sense.
So look, while we got your attention, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, follow, like, share, comment, post, everything. Do this. TikTok it if you can. Do whatever. Like, just do it. Just hit the button. Push the damn button. Just push it.
Push the goddamn button.
Can you push it? Hit the like button. Thank you. Once you hit the like button, look, tune in next episode as we will discuss the effects of a father.
Oh shit.
This gonna be that one I ain't gonna front with you, it's gonna be very deep. I mean, like, it might make some of y'all cry. So just in case, pull over.
Hell no.
Grab some tissue. I'm serious. You think I'm joking? Pull over just in case. Next episode. Matter of fact, don't even drive next episode. Just sit in your house and listen to it with your kids.
Yes, sir.
Seriously, listen to it with your friends and whatever in your house. Don't even drive when you listen to this. Just listen to it with your kids or while you're working, because you might wind up crying. But look, gentlemen, as always, look, it's not about what you do, but about how you do it. I'm going to keep telling you that until it gets in your brain. It's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. Dwell in the process. Dwell in it. Get your power back. Get your power back, people.
I ain't got
Stop
no
asking
muscles,
for
but I'm
shit.
strong.
Get your power back. You can control your circle. You have a sphere of influence. Control that shit. But first of all, you got to
Absolutely.
control yourself.
Gain your power over yourself first.
Yep. So look, I want to thank you for listening to this conversation in the Black Gentlemen's Club, where we have candid conversations about challenges that black men face and how we can overcome them. May God grant blessings and peace among you all. Adios.